Yeah, it's 31. Yeah, 31. Go ahead. Yes, sir. Our agents starting to arrive over here at the FDA headquarters. R62 is around your location now. I think he just arrived. You can liaison with him.
Good morning, everybody. We're coming on a bit early with breaking news. A horrifying scene in Baltimore this morning. The Francis Scott Key Bridge struck by a cargo ship and collapsing overnight. You can see the video right there, shows the entire structure appearing to break apart. This is a 1.5-mile bridge over Baltimore Harbor. NBC's Tom Costello is right there at the scene for us. And Tom, obviously the concern is anyone who was on the bridge, members on the cargo ship. What can you tell us? What's the latest right now?
That's right. This happened at 1:30 this morning. A Singapore-flagged vessel, a cargo ship, struck one of the support structures, one of the pylons, if you will, holding up the Francis Scott Key Bridge. And with that, the entire bridge, as you saw in that video, collapsed into the water. Just a stunning scene here. And this is a critical artery, the Francis Scott Key Bridge, into and around the port of Baltimore, which, as you know, is one of the nation's busiest ports. And so that is going to create a massive logistical headache this morning. The Maryland governor has declared a state of emergency. The transportation secretary, Pete Buttigieg, in contact, I should say, with the Maryland governor as well. Fire department and Coast Guard rescue operations have been ongoing since very early, searching for any potential victims who may have gone into the water. And we have heard there may be 7 people who went into the water, maybe more. Nobody on the ship is missing, we believe. However, the concern is that there may have been construction workers on top of the bridge when the bridge was struck and that they may have gone into the water. As a result, this is a massive search and rescue operation.
Wow. So those of you that are unfamiliar who Francis Scott Key is, well, he owned slaves. Not only that, he wrote a poem / song, you could call it, the Star Spangled Banner. And it was racist, actually. It was promoting slavery, you know. And if you listen to the verses in that poem, it'll tell you, you know, how the slaves would not be able to escape. But we'll get the back history on Francis Scott Key. Let's keep watching.
Francis Scott Key wrote a poem that became the national anthem. It was called the Star Spangled Banner. Key, who was a lawyer, was said to have been racist, and so were the lyrics in a verse that was omitted from the original version of the poem. Let me tell you about it. I'm the young black mayor, your #1 history influencer. Francis Scott Key wrote the Star Spangled Banner on September 14, 1814, after witnessing a surprise attack by the British on Fort McHenry. This was the ending of the War of 1812. The poem was set to the tune of popular English music, written for a gentleman's club in London. For over 100 years, it was too controversial to be the national anthem. During the war, Great Britain offered land and freedom to any American slave who escaped and joined their army. There's a part of a verse which was removed that caused the controversy. The lyrics suggest that black slaves who escaped from bondage and joined the British Army to fight were not protected from death. It goes like this. No refuge can save the hireling or slave from the terror of flight or gloom of the grave, and the Star-Spangled Banner in triumph doth wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave. Some experts say the lyrics were used in hate. Others disagree. However, Key was a member of a wealthy slave-holding family, and he advocated for black people to be sent back to Africa if freed from slavery. About 4,000 slaves escaped to fight for the British, and Great Britain kept its word. Eventually, the verse was removed from Key's poem and adopted as the national anthem anyway. The verse was removed out of respect for the British, not out of respect for black Americans. On March 3rd, 1931, President Herbert Hoover signed a bill making the song our official anthem. This was a political victory for Southern whites. A parade took place in Baltimore. The color guard led the parade, flying the Confederate flag.
I would like for you to listen to our national anthem.
And where is that band who so vauntingly swore that the havoc of war and the battle's confusion of home and country should leave us no more? Their blood has washed out their foul footsteps, pollution. No refuge could save the hireling enslaved from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave. And the star-spangled banner in triumph doth wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
That is our national anthem. In case you doubt the lyrics to the third verse of the national anthem that you just heard, these are the handwritten lyrics from Francis Scott Key. No refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave. He is celebrating the murder of enslaved people.
Amos 3:6, shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city and the Lord have not done it? So we have to understand nothing is by happenstance. You know, that cargo ship ran into this Francis Scott Bridge and it collapsed, okay? But we know the Most High is in control of all things. So we have to understand that. Ecclesiastes 5:4, say not, I have sinned, and what harm hath happened unto me? For the Lord is long-suffering. He will in no wise let thee go. And this is the mindset we have to understand and be aware of in the things that we do and the choices that we make in general on a broad spectrum. You can't just be sinning and expect nothing to come of that. As we just learned in this precept, the Most High is saying, in no wise will I let thee go. So you can't enslave a holy people, have slaves, rejoice in slavery, think that that's okay, and the Most High is just going to let that thing go. No, there's judgment in the earth.